When I wrote this poem, I had just gotten on career with the post office, and I was living outside of town on the other side of Martin Luther King Boulevard in a tiny, tiny two-room duplex because I had nothing. And the area was terrible. It was full of either people who couldn't afford to live in town or people who were purposely living outside of town because they didn't want to be noticed. And I was pissed. I was pissed because I had done everything right. I had went to school. I had, in 5 years, triple majored, had something like 650 semester hours. And I felt like I had done everything right, that every step was the right step to take, and yet here I was in the middle of nowhere with nothing. I felt like I was in the wilderness. My neighbors that lived next door were some roofers that one guy spoke broken English and everyone else not a lick of English at all. Guarantee you that not a single one of them was legal. And I walked outside of my house one day and there's my neighbor in my yard and on my side on his hands and knees mowing my lawn with a machete, picking up leaves at a time and chopping it. And it was that instant that I suffered an epiphany, for lack of a better word. And I realized that I was the asshole. I realized that everything that everyone had piled upon me, everything that I had piled, everything that I had built up was bullshit. Every single thing. Because it doesn't matter where you're going to be. It doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is where you're at. What matters is the value that's around you. And that's where this piece comes from. It's called In the Wilderness. Down the street, they've got a trash fire burning, and it gathers the wind, and it paints ghosts upon faces, all orange and black, lucid and lascivious. This ain't the Motor City, though. It ain't the Bronx. Truth be told, I live outside of town, outside of the loop, and people on this street rarely speak English. And I rarely understand what they're saying. And I see them, and I think, America the beautiful. I don't really know what's expected of me. Sometimes you find yourself places you'd never imagined, find yourself stuck by gravity in a space of time, and you're where you're supposed to be because you're where you are. And if that's not good enough for you, then you don't deserve anything else. I don't keep my lawn mowed. I don't tend my garden or stain my hands with earthly soil. I grow mostly weeds and resilient elm that are easier to grow than kill. Around here, you don't make yourself a target. You don't project to the world, here I am, look at me. Around here, you keep it quiet. Maybe you say, "What's up?" Maybe you nod your head or flash a peace sign. Mostly you share that unspoken bond of understanding that this world is more. It has to be. Down the street they've got a trash fire burning and they invite me over, hand me a Dos Equis or a Corona, and we talk about the wind. We talk about Jesus. We talk about the dog down the street, the neighbor's breasts. We talk about what it means to live. Half of it, I don't understand. The other half, I don't need to. Because they know, I know. They know my face amidst all the ghosts glowing orange. I now know more about roofing than just about anything. And I've never even picked up a hammer to try. lodged next to Aristotle and Bukowski and Voltaire on a shelf in my mind. I keep that all stored up. It is important. It's more than important. It has to be. Someday the sun will burn out for me. And you won't probably find me holding hands, waiting. Winter will set in, and I'll shiver until my heart explodes. Or uses itself up in a startling, sudden spasm. And it's enough for me. It's where I'm supposed to be. Because it's where I am.